Fellow gardeners, let me share something that really transformed my relationship with soil forever. 3 years ago, I was struggling with compacted clay that honestly seemed more like concrete than any kind of growing medium. Today, that very same plot now produces vegetables that make my neighbors stop and stare. The secret? I stopped fighting my soil and started partnering with nature's most dedicated soil engineers, earthworms. If you've ever wondered why some gardens seem to effortlessly produce abundant harvests while others struggle despite, expensive amendments and fertilizers, the answer often lies beneath the surface in the form of these humble invertebrates. Earthworms aren't just garden inhabitants, they're your soil's best friends and your ticket to creating the kind of fertile living earth that produces truly extraordinary results. Think of earthworms as your soil's personal trainers, nutritionists, and architects all rolled into one. These incredible creatures process organic matter through their bodies, creating worm castings that are basically nature's perfect fertilizer. But here's what most gardeners don't realize. Earthworm castings contain 5 times more nitrogen, 7 times more phosphorus, and 11 times more potassium than the surrounding soil. Every earthworm in your garden is working around the clock, consuming soil and organic matter equivalent to their own body weight daily. As they move through the earth, they create channels that improve drainage and aeration, while their castings provide slow-release nutrients that plants can actually use. Unlike synthetic fertilizers that can burn roots or just leach away, earthworm castings release nutrients gradually as plants need them. The microbial activity in earthworm castings is off the charts compared to regular soil. These beneficial microorganisms form symbiotic relationships with plant roots, helping them absorb nutrients more efficiently while protecting against harmful pathogens. When you cultivate earthworms, you're essentially building an underground ecosystem that works tirelessly for your plant's success. The key to attracting and maintaining healthy earthworm populations lies in understanding what they need to thrive. Earthworms require consistent moisture, organic matter, proper pH levels, and protection from extreme temperatures. The good news? These are exactly the same conditions that produce healthy, productive soil. Start by maintaining soil moisture levels between 60 and 85%. Your soil should feel like a wrung-out sponge, moist but not waterlogged. In my experience, this is where many gardeners go wrong. They either let their soil dry out completely during hot spells or create soggy conditions that drive earthworms away. Installing drip irrigation or soaker hoses helps maintain consistent moisture levels that earthworms love. So, organic matter is basically earthworm fuel, and you really want to keep a steady supply coming. I've found that, honestly, layering different types of organic materials works best. Fallen leaves provide carbon, kitchen scraps add nitrogen, and grass clippings offer a quick decomposing food source. The trick is creating a buffet, rather than dumping massive amounts of just one material, which can create anaerobic conditions. Temperature control, well, it matters more than most gardeners realize. Earthworms are most active when soil temperatures range between 55 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. During extreme heat or cold, they'll retreat deeper into the soil or become dormant. Mulching heavily helps moderate soil temperatures year-round, creating the stable environment earthworms really prefer. Here's where earthworm management gets really exciting: vermicomposting. Setting up a dedicated worm composting system not only produces incredible castings for your garden, but it also allows you to study earthworm behavior up close. I started with a simple plastic bin system, and honestly, I was amazed at how quickly kitchen scraps transformed into black gold. Red wiggler worms are perfect for composting systems because they reproduce quickly, process organic matter efficiently, and tolerate handling better than field earthworms. You can start with just a pound of worms in a properly prepared bin and have a thriving population within months. The castings they produce are so nutrient-dense that I use them as my go-to transplant fertilizer and seed-starting medium. The beauty of vermicomposting lies in its ability to process materials that don't break down well in traditional compost piles. Fruit peels, vegetable scraps, coffee grounds, and even paper can be transformed into premium soil amendments. Plus, The liquid that drains from worm bins, often called worm tea, makes an excellent foliar feed when diluted properly. Creating an earthworm-friendly garden means thinking beyond individual plants to the entire soil ecosystem. I've learned that diversity is crucial, both in the organic materials I provide and in the plants I grow. Different plants contribute different root exudates and leaf litter, creating varied food sources that support different earthworm species. Cover crops have become essential in my earthworm management strategy. Crimson clover, winter rye, and buckwheat not only prevent soil erosion and add organic matter, but also keep earthworm food sources available year-round. When these cover crops decompose, they create the perfect environment for earthworm reproduction. Kitchen scraps buried directly in garden beds work wonderfully, but technique matters. I bury scraps about 8 inches deep and cover them completely to prevent pest issues. Rotating burial sites ensures organic matter distribution throughout the garden while giving earthworms time to process each deposit fully. Avoid citrus, onions, and garlic, which can temporarily repel earthworms due to their acidity or strong compounds. Chemical fertilizers and pesticides are earthworm killers, plain and simple. Even products labeled as organic can be harmful if overused. I learned this lesson the hard way when an over-application of fish emulsion temporarily reduced my earthworm population. Now I focus on building soil health naturally, rather than trying to force quick fixes. Excessive tilling destroys earthworm tunnels, kills worms directly, and disrupts the soil structure they work so hard to create. I've transitioned to no-till methods wherever possible, using broad forks to gently loosen compacted areas without destroying the intricate network of channels earthworms create. The results speak for themselves. Better water infiltration, improved soil structure, and exploding earthworm populations. Heavy foot traffic compacts soil and makes it difficult for earthworms to move and breathe. Establishing permanent pathways and raised beds protects your soil structure while concentrating earthworm activity where you want it most. I've noticed that earthworm populations are significantly higher in areas where soil compaction is minimal. Learning to assess earthworm populations helps you understand how well your soil management practices are working. On a mild, moist morning, count the number of earthworms you find in a square foot of soil dug 6 inches deep. Healthy garden soil should contain at least 5 to 10 earthworms per square foot, with some exceptional soils hosting 20 or more. Watch for earthworm castings on the soil surface. These small granular mounds indicate active populations below. The more castings you see, the more earthworms you have working in your soil. I've found that areas with the most surface castings consistently produce the healthiest, most productive plants. Changes in plant health and soil structure provide indirect measures of earthworm activity. As earthworm populations increase, you'll notice improved water infiltration, easier digging, better plant growth, and increased organic matter content. These changes often take 6 to 12 months to become obvious, so patience is essential. Spring management focuses on providing food sources as earthworms emerge from winter dormancy. This is when I add my heaviest applications of compost and begin burying kitchen scraps again. Gentle cultivation helps incorporate organic matter without disturbing established earthworm channels. So, summer requires consistent moisture management and, protection from heat stress. Deep mulching becomes crucial, and I often increase watering frequency during those hot, dry periods. This is also when earthworm reproduction really peaks, so maintaining optimal conditions definitely pays dividends in population growth. Fall preparation involves building up organic matter reserves that will sustain earthworms through winter. I pile leaves, spread compost, and plant cover crops that will provide food sources during the dormant season. Proper fall care ensures earthworms survive winter and honestly emerge ready to work in spring. Inoculating new garden areas with earthworms from established populations can, jumpstart soil improvement in problem areas. I collect earthworms during spring cultivation and relocate them to newly created beds along with some soil from their original location. This transfers not just earthworms, but also the beneficial microorganisms associated with their castings. So creating earthworm refuges, areas with extra organic matter, consistent moisture and minimal disturbance, provides safe havens during extreme weather and, serves as breeding centers for population expansion. These refuges can be as simple as a thick compost pile or as elaborate as a dedicated worm bed with controlled conditions. So, managing different earthworm species really requires understanding their specific needs and behaviors. Deep-dwelling nightcrawlers, for example, prefer different conditions than surface-feeding redworms. By providing varied habitats within your garden, you can actually support multiple species that work together to improve different soil layers. Your garden's earthworm population honestly is a living indicator of soil health and your success as a steward of the land. These remarkable creatures offer a partnership that benefits both your plants and the broader ecosystem. By creating conditions that support thriving earthworm populations, you're investing in sustainable long-term garden productivity that just keeps improving year after year. The journey to building truly fertile soil takes time, patience, and observation. But, the rewards are extraordinary. Every earthworm in your garden represents thousands of hours of soil improvement work that would be impossible to replicate artificially. So, embrace these underground allies, and watch your garden transform into the productive, vibrant ecosystem you've always envisioned. And hey, remember to subscribe to Soil Sensei for more deep dive gardening insights, and share this article with fellow gardeners who are ready to unlock their soil's true potential. Together, we're building a community of growers who understand that healthy soil is the foundation of everything we do in the garden.